Next at 10, Davenport takes center stage, hosting Democratic candidates in a presidential forum.
The Democrats debate in Davenport, and Quad Cityans had a front row seat. I'm Keegan Feeney. I'll have reactions from the crowd coming up.
And a Davenport store will need a major makeover after a driver goes off-road.
Live from the Quad Cities, this is CBS 4 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tambry Lane. Thanks for joining us. Davenport, Iowa is a political hotspot tonight as 5 presidential hopefuls debate. Divided We Fail was the title of tonight's forum at the historic Adler Theater. We'll have local reaction coming up, but first, Casey Mallon sums up the debate for us. Casey?
Tambry, tonight's debate was sponsored by the AARP and focused on health care and financial issues. 5 Democratic presidential hopefuls took the stage at Davenport's Adler Theater. The first topic and basis of the debate, health care. All the candidates agree the system needs to expand or be universal, but as the Democrats touted their plans, former North Carolina Senator John Edwards warned the crowd to be aware of how these plans will be accomplished.
American people have been misled for 7 years. It is time for us to tell people the truth. And we cannot have universal health care for free.
Moderator Judy Woodruff asked the group how they would pay for their plans. New Mexico's Governor Bill Richardson says he proved he was able to pay for a health care plan in his state, to which Delaware's senator offered some humor.
God love him. His state's a couple million people. Give me a break. You can pull that together, pull together 300 million people. That's like saying, you know, I played halfback when I was in high school. I can play in the pros. A different deal.
Joe Biden went on to say none of their plans will work unless they can come up with one that can gain Republican support. Then the debate moved to financial issues facing the country. New York Senator Hillary Clinton.
Let's get back to doing what worked in the 90s to shore up Social Security. Let's quit taking money from the Social Security Trust Fund to fund tax cuts for the wealthy and the war in Iraq.
Connecticut Senator Chris Dodd was asked to talk about the rising number of foreclosures in the country. Dodd, chairman of the banking committee, says people who provide the loans are responsible.
I'm not going to tolerate anyone losing their home because a bank or a broker took advantage of them.
The debate ended with touching on the Iraq war.
On January the 20th, 2010, 1 year after you take office, should you be elected, what would be the size of the U.S. military presence in Iraq?
All the candidates except one say there is no way of telling what the situation will be in a few years, but Richardson says if he's president, there will be no military presence in Iraq.
I would take all our troops out. I would put some in Kuwait. I would put some in Afghanistan where they are needed. But I would take all our troops out. We need to end this war now.
The debate lasted about an hour and a half, and Illinois Senator Barack Obama was invited tonight, but he declined. Tambry?
All right, Casey, thanks a lot for that. While Americans from coast to coast tuned into the live broadcast of the forum, Quad Cityans had the opportunity to sit in the front row. Keegan Feeney caught up with voters after the debate. So, Keegan, do voters think there was a winner tonight?
Well, Tambry, that's a question voters had a real tough time answering tonight. The reactions to the forum show just how ingrained presidential politics are in Iowa's culture. Many say they just loved every minute.
If caucus season were to begin tomorrow, Democrats in Davenport say they'd have a tough decision after a lively debate.
It was fantastic. It was more lively than normal. I think it was because it was down to 5.
It was very, very good. I liked all their answers. They did a good job.
While the crowd gathered outside the Adler Theater had clear opinions on who their top candidate is, many inside the theater were reluctant to name a clear-cut winner.
Both Edwards and Hillary Clinton did wonderful in it. So, you know, as far as winner, I wouldn't say one way or the other.
Joe Biden. I liked Joe. I liked a lot of the answers he gave. I thought he was very straightforward. Hillary did a good job too.
John Edwards had a pretty strong showing this evening. I was impressed with what he had to say.
There's no clear consensus on who captivated this audience, but most agree the candidates shared one winning move: some playful sparring over the issues.
It doesn't surprise me. It's about time it started happening because they're getting down to the nitty-gritty.
I just can't wait till it gets down to Republican versus Democrat.
Another reaction we heard over and over, people are generally satisfied with what the candidates had to say about the issues. Many say the Democrats' health care plans sound similar for the most part, but they also say the plans are on the right track, trying to offer health care for all. Tambry?